All right, welcome back. Our pregame show here on the Bulldog Radio Network. Todd Morris with you. Time to sit down with UMS-Wright head football coach Terry Curtis for our weekly pregame interview. And Coach, let's go back and review the 21-14 victory last week over the St. Paul Saints in the Battle of Old Shell Road. Always good to get a win in that rivalry game to start off the season. I'm going to just go right to Cole Blaylock. Did everything for us that you expected in going into the game. He was as billed. Talk about his performance and then talk about the team as a whole.
Well, I tried to tell everybody, he was our go-to guy. And excuse me, it's rained and all, practicing in the rain every day. Not good for the voice, but Cole had a great game. No fumbles, no costly turnovers, and ran the ball hard. And, I thought in the first half we were kind of moving around and doing some different things and had it going pretty good. And blocked the kick, got the 14-0 lead. And, I don't think we let up, but I do think St. Paul's probably got a lot more patient and decided, okay, we're going to run it right at them. And they did a pretty good job of it. And that always concerns you. But when you go back and look at the film, a lot of the things were our fault. We wasn't squeezing right. And a lot of that had to do with the youth in their first games, and hopefully.
Right.
And so we worked really hard on that this week, and hopefully we'll be better against a tough T.R. Miller team who likes to run the football too, with some big old backs. So, I think we had the ball 3 plays with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. So, it's hard to do some things in, but and it was mostly our fault more so than what they were doing.
Well, I keep a drive chart during the game. We had the ball 4 times in the first half. We only had it 2 times in the second half, considering the kickoff return for a touchdown.
Right.
And we'd only ran 4 plays at one time, but going in deep into the fourth quarter. So possessions are so small in a high school game. When you talk about making mistakes and how those things happen, it's just the margin of error is so small.
It is. And, I thought Sutton managed the game okay. He had the one bad throw for the first down we overthrew, and then missed the receiver really for the second interception, threw the wrong guy. But, he managed it okay, and hopefully he'll be better. They say you improve the most from first, second game, so I hope that's true.
Well, I'm going to give you credit because after he threw the interception, I talked on the air. I said, I hope Coach doesn't have a short hook for Sutton in his first game, and you did. You put him back out there, showed confidence, and I thought he stepped up. I thought he played well, and he did what he needed to do and showed maturity there, especially later in the game.
Well, he did, but yet, I thought we played Joe enough. I didn't really want to play him a whole lot right here early in the season and all, but we did. We let him throw. He threw a completed pass and ran the ball a couple times, and he can run our offense. He just we don't get under center with him because he doesn't get a whole lot of work. But it was good to get him some touches back there also, and I was pleased with it. I never really thought about taking Sutton out.
Yeah. When you go to the defensive side, the senior linebacking crew of John Charles Irwin, Thomas Hill, James Lee, throw in Jeff Holston, their sophomore. All night, I thought they played well. They competed. They didn't back down. And then, like you said, in the second half, when St. Paul's really started to try to run it down our throats, we were still doing what I thought we needed to do, and the linebackers, I thought, were very prevalent in the game.
Well, you're right. And I thought James Lee may have played one of his better games ever. He was playing great technique, doing what he was supposed to do the whole time. JC and Thomas for those positions, even though JC played last year, he's in a new position this year. It's kind of like what we talked about last year. And you've got to read your keys, trust your keys. Maybe more important to say you've got to trust your keys. You can't just read them and say, oh, that ain't where they're going.
Right.
You've got to trust what your keys are telling you. And I think they're only going to get better with that, but they played hard. I thought Jeff Holston had a very good game, with a sure tackler, one-on-one several times in space, and made the tackles. Our secondary got to play better. Our front, for all of them, first game, all of them that played, I think they're only going to get better.
Yeah.
But if there was a disappointment really over there, it was how they could run the ball on us, but most of it with our guys not squeezing it away from James, and then I wasn't pleased with the way our secondary played.
So T.R. Miller comes to the Cooper Stadium this week. They're 1-0 on the season. Last year we go to Bruton, give up 240 yards rushing against them last week, and I think you said it. That's what we expect to see from them tonight here at Cooper Stadium.
Well, they've got a number 32 who's a sophomore now, played last year, good running back, also plays inside linebacker.
Yeah.
35, the big boy, played last year. He's a senior now, plays defensive end. So they spell them and swap it up, and it's like I told the guys yesterday, if we can stop the run, T.R. Miller will not throw a pass.
That's right.
He will sit there and run it all night long and control the ball, control the clock, and the whole 9 yards. So we've got to be a little bit more physical and play a little bit more at the line of scrimmage, and this will be a good test for us before we get into region play.
And if they control the ball and able to run it, then that shortens those possessions down again and makes our time with the football even more precious.
Well, that's right. You look at 2 possessions second half, that's not a whole lot.
No.
And on the offensive side, when that's happening, it's hard to get a feel for the game,
right,
and stuff you've shown them now that you can go against and kind of mix things up when you haven't been able to run enough plays at them for them to see enough stuff.
Yeah, it's hard to get any momentum.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Coach, well, quick pregame interview here this week. Thanks for sitting down with us. Looking to go 2-0 here. Hard to believe this is our second and last non-region game of the year.
Is it? Be 8 in a row.
8 in a row starting next week. But
Yep.
Thanks. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, guys.
All right, tonight's our only other non-region game of the season before we start 8 straight region games next week at LaFleur. So stick around. UMS-Wright, T.R. Miller coming up in just a minute right here on the Bulldog Radio Network. Sports Talk, 99.5 Mobile, an iHeart radio station.